What's up, JEFusion fans, and welcome back to another Idol Talk video. So, about 5 days ago, I made a video on SKE48, giving you guys an introduction to them, and I made that video in celebration of their 12th anniversary, and now I'm making a video on NMB48, who's actually celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. So, imagine that, October 10th anniversary in 2020. That's really a very special milestone for the group, I would say. So, like I did with the SK48 video, this is going to be an overview, so a bit of a history, and like the previous one, I would also share my personal thoughts and experiences, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So, hope you're ready. Let's go. NMB48, like I've said, as they are celebrating their 10th anniversary, they made their debut in October of 2010. Now, they made their debut on October 9th exactly at an AKB48 live event. So they were introduced as the latest franchise in the 48 group family. So they followed SK48 about 2 years later. So they are the second franchise. They are the second sister group, and as their name would suggest, the girls would be stationed in Namba, Osaka. Now, the acronym for NMB48 is actually quite interesting to look at because if you spell Namba in alphabet, you would actually spell it as NANBA. However, if you divide them into three teams with the initials of the area, so you would get a team N2, so you have two team Ns, and the team B2. So team B2, by the way, gets its name because AKB48 has team B. So in order to avoid the confusion between two N's, it's highly likely that the management went with the letter M instead, so creating the teams NMB2. So B2 still exists, by the way. Yes, that's what the management did. So, like I said, the girls are located in Namba, Osaka. And I must say, like, talking about NMB48, I actually have to mention the kind of management they had. So, NMB48 is held currently by Show Title, which is a subsidiary of Yoshimoto Kogyo. It's a very big entertainment company in Japan, and it's very famous actually for producing Japan's top comedians. And it I guess it's also kind of given that the girls are based in Osaka, and the group uh, like probably a stereotypical Osakan or a stereotypical person from Kansai is often seen as funny. Again, being being under the management of a company which holds Japan's top comedians, the most famous comedians in Japan, like Downtown 99 and such. Again, the girls would also be associated with comedy, and they would often appear in various shows with the top Yoshimoto comedians. Again, given that they are basically under the same brand and same management. So, again, yeah, that's what sets NMB48 apart. So, actually, that's just one of the things that sets NMB48 apart. So, they're stereotypically the funny group. However, what also makes NMB48 unique is that a lot of the members, and I do mean a lot of them, have gravure work, and they would often be, posing in swimsuits. And I must say, like this year alone, in within the 48 group, a lot of swimsuit appearances come from NMB48. So yeah, in Japan, when fans, or at least the people who have heard of NMB48, they would often also associate NMB with a lot of bikini shots. So yeah, there's kind of a bit of a sex appeal thing going on here, but so yeah, so NMB48, if you crudely describe them, the funny girls who have a lot of sex appeal in bikinis. So that's a really strange description, but nonetheless, they are a really good group in terms of performance as well. So, like I said earlier, in my previous video, SKE48 specializes in like high energy dances, but uh, NMB, I would say they also have a lot of very powerful dances. Like if I were to recommend like really amazing performances, like I would say Must Be Now, Yokubo Mono, and what else? Oh, Don't Look Back. Yeah, very nice. And they do also have a lot. Like I would also mention a couple of songs that have very interesting choreographies here. uh, I would say Junjo Under 19 and Virginity. So, looking at those performances, like I'm actually amazed at what kind of dances they offer. Not so again, when I said SKE48 has a lot of high energy dances, NMB48 has a lot of unique dance moves, I would say. So, in terms of performance, NMB is actually very solid. So, uh, so yeah, so going back to NMB's songs, they actually made their debut in 2011 with Zetsumetsu Kurokami Shoujo. So that was their debut single. And talking about NMB48's popularity, like I've said earlier, they are under Yoshimoto Kogyo basically, although their actual uh, agency is called Show Title. So they would be associated with comedy, and like I've said earlier, they would be also associated with a lot of swimsuit shots. So yeah, and what else? So like I've said, it makes NMB unique, but the popularity of NMB48 would actually come thanks to two members. So these two members are Sayaka Yamamoto and Miyuki Watanabe. As of this video, both members have all already left the group long. They're already long gone from the group, but they're still very popular today because of their contributions to the group as a whole. So Miyuki Watanabe and Sayaka Yamamoto were introduced as, kind of in a similar way with the Jurina Matsui. So they were included in AKB48 songs, I believe, with Everyday Katyusha. So they were the first NMB members to be featured in an AKB48 music video and song. So, like with Jurina Matsui and eventually Rena Matsui from SK48, so both of them. So the move was done in order to draw attention into NMB48. So, again, with both of them taking the lead. So, again, eventually, of course, NMB's popularity as a whole would blow up, but nonetheless, it made Sayaka and Miyuki much more popular than they ever would become as well. So, especially with the so-called rivalry between them. So they were both top members of the group, although Sayaka would typically take the lead most of the time, but so Miyuki would be basically the number two. But again, the rivalry between them was intense, or what fans would like. see as a rivalry between them. But in actuality, at least during their time in NMB48, both Miyuki and Sayaka would be close. And despite being seen as rivals, they're kind of also seen as partners. So, like I've said earlier, NMB48 is a group, again, associated with comedy. They would perform with Yoshimoto comedians at some specific performances. So, with that, they also have their own comedic acts. So Sayaka and or Miyuki rather, because Milky is her nickname. I kind of remember her as Milky rather than Miyuki. Sorry about that. So Sayaka and Miyuki would perform stand-up comedy, or manzai as it's popularly known in Japan, where uh, Miyuki basically acts the fool, and Sayaka would be the straight man. Not. Oh God! Don't take it the wrong way, please. So okay, so basically, Miyuki acts as the fool, and Sayaka gives out retorts. Again, that kind of funny banter, like one says something stupid, and the other one tries to react, usually angrily towards the idiot. That's what manzai is basically. So, anyways, a lot of NMB members would do the same thing. In fact, there has been a show that basically revolves around members doing that kind of stuff. So, uh, it was very funny, and definitely, again, makes NMB unique as the funny one amongst the 48 group franchises. So, amongst the sister group. So, yeah, that's basically the overview of NMB 48. So, now I'm going a bit more personal here. So, like I've said earlier, so it's weird to say this, but again, associating, when I think of NMB, yeah, I think of the funny girls who usually wear swimsuits. And again, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, because, well, of course, I'm not gonna lie. As a guy, I would definitely look at a girl in swimsuit. Don't judge me, but uh, it's just very common thing in Japan, really. But nonetheless, swimsuits aside, okay, NMB 48's performances are really good. Like, again, the comedy. So especially when I started trying to understand uh, Japanese a lot more than I've studied in college, by the way. So when I began to see the charm of the group in all of its, in its entirety, I actually uh, came to love NMB more than any other group in the 48 franchise. Uh, One other aspect that I loved, so given that most of the members, not all of them actually, so most of the members are based either in Osaka or in any other part of the Kansai region in Japan. So given that they are mostly based in the Kansai area, a lot of them, actually almost everyone, except for the non-Osakan members or non-Kansai members, they speak the Kansai dialect very, very heavily. And they have released several songs, or at least they've included in their singles or albums, songs that are sung entirely in the Kansai or Osakan dialect. Uh, One such song of note would be Teppen Totande. So, compared to other groups, like, uh, let's say, SK48, so they are based in Aichi Prefecture, and Aichi Prefecture actually has its own distinct dialect. I should know, I live in Aichi. So, what I found strange is that there's only one song in SKE48, by the way, that in which members basically sing in the Nagoya dialect, because SKE48 is based in Nagoya, so Nagoya has its actually more distinct dialect within Aichi Prefecture. So that song is Teppen Totarute. So they basically made their own Nagoya version of NMB48 song. And yeah, basically SK48 sings in just standard Japanese. NMB48, uh, what makes them unique is that they're basically the first uh, group in the franchise to sing a lot of their songs in their own native dialect. That blew my mind, actually. So, like, I'm not from Osaka, or I don't live in Osaka, but like, I feel the aura. I feel Osaka every time I hear NMB48 members speak in Kansai dialect, and really, like, especially when they talk to each other, when they are in a lot of shows, like again with other Yoshimoto Kogyo talents who are mostly from Osaka or from Kansai region. They speak the dialect very heavily. You can feel, like, especially when you come to appreciate them, like you feel that you are also a part of Kansai. So uh I guess in a way NMB48 helped me learn Kansai dialect as well, and have a deeper appreciation for Japanese comedy. So that's probably why I fell in love with NMB48 as a whole. Although, again, compared to SK48, yeah, like they're there. I'm from not really from Aichi, but I am in Aichi. I have easy access to them, and I technically should be loving them more than any other group, but no, I don't have that same kind of attachment. Like, probably at that point, when I pick NMB as my top group, like actually, I think right now NMB48 is still my favorite group amongst all the other 48 group franchises, because of their uniqueness in every way, I tell you. So yeah, AKB48 is there because, like, it's the first group that I came to love, because they're so versatile. SKE48, well, they had this high energy, especially in the earlier years, but they were eventually, like, surpassed by other groups. Again, like NMB, for example, they have a lot of songs that can surpass SKE48 in general in terms of performance and energy. Oh, I'm getting so fired up, guys. So, yeah, that's how much I love NMB48. And when I came to Japan 6 years ago, I really hope to meet them. Like, I actually, oh, sorry guys, I hit my support, but anyway. So when I came to Japan 6 years ago, I brought tickets for an NMB40 event. I actually received those tickets from a friend of mine. uh, so you probably seen him in an article I did with SKE48 before. So about SKE48, a couple of years ago. So it was the same guy who gave me those tickets. So shout out to you, Marge. I hope you're watching this video. I might tag you. So anyways, uh, so my friend Marge, he gave me the tickets for an NMB48 event the day before I left. And I think so when I arrived, that was April 6th. About 3 days later, so there was actually an event for NMB48. I think 2 or 3 days after I arrived. But since I didn't know yet how to check their schedules, and again, I just came to Japan that time, and I really didn't know much about Nagoya, especially. I missed the opportunity to meet them. Hmm. So about a year later, that was actually April 29, 2015. So yeah, I still remember it clearly. So back then, okay, I learned how to check the schedules. I already researched the place. I'm set to go, and I bought the CDs with the tickets for again their most recent CD, which was "Don't Look Back." So I went to Nagoya, bringing the CDs and the tickets that I bought, and then I realized that they were not actually the tickets that I had, or not or at least they were not the kind of tickets that I expected were to be used. So I didn't know clearly the difference between a national handshake event and an individual handshake event. Back then, I didn't know what they were. I didn't know the difference, and I basically, well, it was the right CD, or rather, it was a different version, but the same song. I know it's kind of confusing right now. Sorry, guys, but I will explain it one day. So I basically bought the wrong type of CD with the wrong type of ticket for the wrong type of event. So yeah, I kind of missed another opportunity again. However, with that mistake, I learned, I did my research, and opportunity finally came. So it was November 3rd, 2017. So also in Nagoya, it was actually the same venue. It was Port Mess in Nagoya. So then I had my very first two-shot event with NMB48. So back then I was still, to be honest, I really didn't plan to spend a lot of money, but I just thought of trying it out, seeing if I would actually get lucky, and I managed to actually get slots for all of the tickets I tried to buy, considering that all the tickets I bought, all the tickets that I bought during that time, like I only bought one of each. So I applied for three members that time. So they were Airi Tanigawa, Mao Mita, and Shion Hori. uh, I actually made a post about that, so I'm actually going to share it in the link in the description, and also in the article where I will also share this video. So you guys can also see that. Again, it was my first time being in a photo with a member, so like actual proof that I met them. Now, prior to that, I've been into other 48 group events, AKB48, SKE48, HKT48, but all of those were just national handshake events. So like they perform live, like there's a mini concert, and then of course after that you have your meet and greet session. You get to shake hands with them, which at this point in time is impossible, with the pandemic still going on. So again, having your pictures with a member together, like, well, I guess not really to brag, but like you have evidence that you can show your friends that you have actually pictures with them. So it was still probably some of my best memories as an idol fan, and I would consider, well, not really number one, but during that time, it was my number one. It was my number one fan moment. Well, I really hope that I can meet them again someday. Oh gosh. Sorry guys. I'm a mess right now because uh again I had a lot to say about the group and I do love them so much and up to this day probably more than any other group in the 48 franchise. So yeah, this is technically my favorite group. So anyways, I'm sorry if I'm quite a mess while describing NMB48, but I hope you guys had an idea of who and what they are. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. So please do leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video. I can't even words right now. So anyways, again, please like this video, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I am just so fired up that I cannot manage myself. But I'm posting this. Sorry about that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks. Bye.